Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at game number 2 from the finals of the first ever Force Invitational. This time we are on the map Shakur's Plateau. Our teal Zerg player spawning in the lower left-hand position is NMX hendralsk, and his opponent, the purple Terran player in the lower right-hand spawn position, is NMX Masa. Masa winning last game. hendralsk really very poor performance. I was quite disappointed, to be quite frank with you. He just got absolutely worked by those early game Hellions and had no defense whatsoever. He was relying on his queens. He came out with the spine crawler, but that was a bit too late. He had no Zerglings and he couldn't afford roaches. That was terrible. I really hope that this game is much better. I really do. I really do. Starting things out, Masa will be coming here with his frontal wall off. We'll have to keep an eye on his racks and refinery timing to get a good idea as to what he may be doing early on. Let's take a look here if hendralsk is going to decide to go hatch first. Once again, this is from the Force Invitational, the first ever, and I will repeat, it is in its infancy. We have just started this thing. Obviously, there are going to be some hiccups along the way, but the fact that it's even getting started is very exciting to me. And a big shout out once again to FSG Chosen, the leader of the Force Professional Gaming team. He's the guy who has organized and set this whole thing up, and it's really thanks to him that this is possible, because honestly, I have been hella busy with the website and everything else, trying to keep the content flowing on the channel to devote this amount of time. And, you know, big shout out to him. He's doing a great job, and I'm really excited to see where this thing is going to go. Alright, back over here, Masa is doing the same opening here in terms of the opening production buildings and all of that, with the 10 depot, 12 racks, and the 13 refinery. Let's see if he is going to open up with that quick factory again with the reactor. That way he can get those early game Hellions and map control. Much easier on this map to maintain total map dominance, as you can really just kind of force your opponent to stay on the 2 bases. Zerg is going to have a hard time pushing out of that with about 4 Hellions just sitting right here. Definitely very effective. Starting to build that wall off down here, so obviously Masa is planning on expanding very soon. First Marine popping out. The drone needs to head back home, or else he is going to lose his life. A little bit of Marine micro. Missed a step there, unfortunately. Masa may have had an opportunity to kill that, but the drone does make its way back on home. Should probably grab the tower just to see if that Marine's still coming. Decides not to do so, though, and continues to make his way back over here. Now, hendralsk has decided right now, as we can see, that pool is just about finished at the exact same time as that hatchery, so beautiful timing there. And with this, we will be seeing those double queens immediately, and at the very least, those 2 Zerglings. Looks like it will just be those 2. Now, he knows a Marine is coming. Should have no problem against that, though. Even just engaging with the drones here. Pulling back the injured drone. Don't lose it! Ended up losing the 1 drone. Is he going to lose a second? Yes, he is. Ouch. Now, I must reiterate here. You might be saying, Force, who the heck are these players? Why? What is going on? Well, hendralsk, once again, is a Grandmaster. He's the ranked 27th Grandmaster on the US ladder. So he's certainly a strong player, but again, just little mistakes like that, I think they go to show you. You know, I know we watch a lot of very high caliber play, and it's those small mistakes that become very obvious when you go to even looking at a Grandmaster game. Things that you would think, hey, that should not be happening. But it does. And even Grandmasters make those kinds of mistakes. So there you go. Masa forced off the line as these early 2 Lings are going to be being a bit of a hassle now with those first 2 Hellions out. He is able to finally take care of those Lings and get back to work. Get back to work. Masa's managed to kill off 2 workers. hendralsk has got the 1. I'm assuming it's the one that was right here at the supply depot. Masa also going straight into a tech lab there for the starport, so we should be seeing some opening a Banshee harass. Not sure if it's going to be Cloak Banshee or not. Doesn't look like he can quite afford that. Doesn't have enough SPN at the moment, but should at the very least be opening up with some Banshee play. 2 Hellions sitting out front here. Queens just kind of chilling. Really, they can't push that well against that, though. So the Hellions, once more, should be able to maintain that map control here for Masa. Now, do we have any hidden Ling scouts or drone scouts? No, we do not. So as long as Masa chills out here for a while, hendralsk really can't push out. Oh, here we go. With just the 2 Hellions, there's no way he can stop that spine crawler from going through. And this would be an opportunity for hendralsk to try to sneak a Zergling somewhere along the corners, out of the vision of those Hellions. Looks like with that spine crawler repositioning, he will just be heading back and grabbing the tower. Now we do have that first Banshee in production, and here comes that cloak research as well. is also finished here with the Orbital Command at his natural expansion. So again, the opening up Banshee Harass and a few more Hellions also moving out. 2 Hellions situated over here, and he did manage, look at that, hendralsk managed to sneak a drone along and drop the 3rd base. So hendralsk will be coming out with a 3rd. Still not a lot of units here so far this game. He is sitting, however, on 4 queens, and 4 queens will be more than adequate for dealing with some Banshee Harass. As long as he makes sure he gets an Overseer in play, which he can't do yet because he has no layer. So hopefully we see layer sometime soon here from hendralsk so that he can get that Overseer to deal with this. Otherwise, we need to see an Evolution Chamber. There it is, so we can drop a Spore Crawler as well. Sacrificial Overlord Scout right now moving in for hendralsk, trying to check some of those production buildings. There's no way he's going to scout anything. Maybe checks the edge of that factory if he's lucky. Nope, doesn't manage to do so. So unfortunately there for hendralsk, the Sacrificial Overlord Scout literally sees nothing. Doesn't spot the Starport with the Tech Lab or the factory with the Tech Lab. And here come the first 2 Banshees. Now that Masa is sitting here with control of that tower, he knows that hendralsk can't scout that, except he has just spotted it with the Overlord. But a layer isn't finished, so he is going to have to drop some spores to deal with this. We got 1 spore getting dropped over here. Cloak goes down, and we're going to see the Queen dropped immediately. Trying to drop a few more spores as well. hendralsk needs to move that Queen back, or else he is going to lose it. And yes, he does. We have an Overseer now also coming on through. Just within range there, finally able to drop it. It doesn't have enough energy to transfuse that one. Very wise of Masa, killing off the Queen that has the high energy, because the Queen with the high energy is the one who can transfuse. So as long as you don't target the Queen with low energy, then the one you're targeting can't get transfused by the other one. Does that make any sense to you? It probably should. 3 racks getting produced right now, also transitioning the Tech Lab onto this racks here, so he can start that Stimpack research. And the follow-up will be Marine Tank, as we've got the Siege Tech, as well as continuous tanks and Marines coming on through. Also going to see that reactor there on that racks. A few Speedlings moving out across the map now for hendralsk, taking a look at the resources lost. You can see hendralsk is quite a bit behind. Hellions move up and roast a hefty amount of those Zerglings, so taking even more losses here. Now we do have the Spire coming on through. We do have a Baneling Nest in play as well. No Banelings quite as of yet. 3rd base now finished here for hendralsk. We'll be working to saturate that. Also coming down with some additional extractors so that he can afford the Mutas that he will be able to produce in just a few moments. And oh, with some Hellion Micro, getting some more roastings. hendralsk just has been unable to get that surround on those Hellions and position himself properly to deal with that. And just taking more and more hefty losses. Dropping a Viking in play. We'll be able to snipe down a few Overlords. First kill is going right over there. We do also have 3 Banshees moving into the main. There's the Cloak, dropping the Queen, and going straight for the workers. Staying out of range on that Spore Crawler. He is still detected, however, from the Overseer there. So he needs to be careful of taking too much damage from that Queen. He's just going to sit here and just kill workers, and then pull back eventually once these Banshees get low enough health. This is unbelievable. Masa continuing to do tremendous amounts of damage here. Zergling's about to get roasted there, trying to get us around and do what damage he can. We have got, ooh, 1 Banshee gets a drop there. His Cloak detected by those spores and dropped by the Queen, but still more and more economic damage. 24 workers killed. Oh man, Zerglings in the center of the map for hendralsk. We're able to take out those Hellions, but still, my gosh, Masa has been doing so much damage this game. Now finally, with some Mutas in play, hendralsk will be able to take care of that, but look at the losses. He is behind over 1,000 resources right now, plus he has lost 27 workers. That's going to force him to drone back up if he wants to try to maintain his economy. Masa is doing the transition again into Marine Tank. No combat shield research coming through, interestingly enough, but he does have some medevacs in play. Got those Marines and those tanks and is preparing to move on out. Will he be dropping another base? That's the question. I don't see any more command centers, so looks like he'll just be building it from scratch down here. A lot of times you'll see it built in the main, but looks like deciding not to do so. Muta's trying to move in. Looks like they weren't able to do too much damage with all those turrets in place, plus the Marines. And actually, ooh, there was an orb. Okay, it was built in the corner. Completely missed that. Muta's trying to take out the tank. Stemmed up Marines will be forcing that back. The orbital command that was built right over here will be dropped now at the 3rd position. Loving the creep spread here from hendralsk, but really besides that, he has not done too much else super impressive this game. Sorry to say. Engaging with the mutas, not enough Marines to threaten them, and the mutas will be able to push them back to the safety of this line here. We have another hatch coming on forward. That will be another expansion, the 4th base here for hendralsk. Coming out with the Burrow Research, level 1 flyer attack upgrades as well. Marines moving forward. Not a lot of banelings. Gonna try to get us around though. Stimmed up Marines. Pull back. Banelings pop on a bunch of them, killing off a lot of those Marines. I don't know if he might be able to engage here, and yes he is as he moves forward. Takes out the few remaining Marines. We'll be able to drop a few of these tanks here as well. Not enough anti-air to deal with this. Taking out a few of the tanks. hendralsk getting himself back in the game. Please drop that tank. There you go. This tank retreating to the safety of the missile turret. We'd like to see some drop harass if possible here from Masa. I'm not sure if he's really in the position to do that quite at the moment though. Does have a drop over here, speaking of which. So he might be able to force the cancel over here, and it looks like he actually is going to be able to do that. Those mutas aren't enough. Oh, baneling popping at the same time. Very nice engagement there from hendralsk as he prevents that drop from forcing the cancel. That was beautiful. I retract my prior statement. Good job there, hendralsk. Excellent job preventing that drop from forcing a cancel. That very well could have been a pretty tragic situation for him. Taking another look at the resources lost, hendralsk is still behind, but slowly clawing his way back in the game. The muted death cloud is ever growing at 16 right now. Even more coming in play. Oh boy, this is a problem for Masa. He gets those medevacs caught mid-air. However, able to drop the rest of his Marines with some nice micro. He's going to be able to work through a bit of those mutas. Now he is not going to survive this engagement, but at least he got a few kills from it. Ends up losing all those Marines as well as the medevacs. Stimmed up Marines moving right under the mutas. Getting a couple of kills there. Mutas freaking out and heading back home right now. Spielings trying to engage, however a siege tank will be forcing them back for now. More Spielings and mutas coming out. We are at 0-1 upgrades for the air units and 0-1 for the ground units, with the level 2 carapace coming out for both the flyer and the air units there for hendralsk. Now Masa does have 1 weapon upgrade there for his siege units, and is 1-1 for the ground bio forces, with 2-2 just about to finish. Spielings and mutas moving forward. They need to be careful, of course, about engaging that tank line. Spielings obviously have a big problem with that. The idea is to try to use the Spielings and banelings to force back the Marines, allowing the mutas to engage those tanks, and then just kind of roll from there. We got another base planned over here from Masa. However, that could quite easily get picked off, and it should. Why is he not? Please just take that free kill. Literally, you got a free SCV kill and could have done a lot of damage to that orbital line. Not sure why you didn't. Drop coming down over here from Masa, moving once again here into the 4th position. We'll be trying to drop this expansion, stimming up and working his way through those links. A few more Spielings and banelings coming from this direction. At the same time, we've got a small push moving across the map. He is able to handle that drop. Took a little bit of loss there, though. Resources lost. Again, hendralsk is still behind. No counter-aggression coming from hendralsk at all here. And here comes the big push right now. Masa moving across the map with bunches of Marines, siege tanks, Thors, and medevacs. 2-2 upgrades now finished. Level 2 weapon for the vehicles also getting researched, about halfway done. That shouldn't be finished for this engagement, but it's still coming on through. We've got a hive tech coming out here for Masa, but first and foremost, he has got to deal with this pressure. Siege tanks, Marines, and Thors. It is threatening, my friend. It's very, very threatening. Masa dropping some Marines on the high ground. Also dropping some Marines in the main. And he is just setting up shop right now, spreading out those tanks. Should be seeing that engagement in just one moment. And here it comes. Spielings and banelings rolling forward. Mutas coming up the backside as well. This is a huge spread, though, of tanks and Marines. And he is going to handle it. Masa has no problem dealing with that. We got some Marines over here. Didn't do too much damage. And hendralsk just calls the GG. Alright, my friends, there you go. Masa takes the series, and as such, becomes the winner of the first ever Force Invitational. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this series of games. Now, once more, I do want to reiterate that this is a brand new thing for us. We are just getting it started, and hopefully as time goes on, we are able to get things in just a better position. Strong players, great exciting games, and all sorts of stuff. Once again, if you would like some more information on the Force Invitational, be sure to take a look at the video description below, as I will provide links for you. Thanks again for watching, guys. Keep watching and keep owning.